Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So we finished up our model and our trade in the previous one. Point model right there in the trade. Okay, so what we're going to do in this one, we're just going to create a new file, and this one is going to be the HasPoints.php. All right, so this is what we're going to be creating in this one. So this will be a short one. All right, so let me just put our PHP tag right there and namespace. Ab trades like that. All right, so we're going to create a trade, and this one will be the name for this one will be HasPoints. I'm just going to remove the block quote. All right, so there's a couple of things that we need to do in here that will make it kind of functional for us to do. All right, so the thing is what we're going to do. Let's start with the first one. So this is going to be a public function, and this one will be the awards. All right, just remember in the previous one where I said we're still going to create the trade. Let me just go to the model quickly. Point model. I just kind of want you guys to understand where everything comes from. This is where we add the awards, and you see this pointable type. We're calling on that awards right there. Right. So that awards will be this awards because we're going to place this trade inside the right model. Okay. So in this case, this will be the first one. We're just going to include the amount will be equal to null. Okay. So we set the amount to null by default, but we can, so that we don't have any errors actually. So return this dot morph many. So morph many. We just bring in the point class. This. Okay, point class, and this is going to be the pointable. Or remember, the pointable right here is the relationship that we set up right here. This pointable right here. Just make sure that we spell everything correctly. And what we're going to do, we put pointable, and we just want to order by. It, add, and ending to take right, so that's the awards. Okay, the next one is we're going to count the awards. Okay, just remember our interface right here. Let's just go to the interface. Let me just show you. Right, so this is basically the awards. All right, the next one is the count awards. This must the contract that whatever polymorphic relationship we set it up in, it needs to fulfill that contract. Okay, so next one is going to be count awards. Count awards. Okay, count awards, and this is just going to return this dot awards count. Right, so basically just going to return the count of that. Okay. Next thing is we're going to count. So public function. This one is going to be the current points. Return new. You know, let's put it in a parentheses, new point. Okay. And then we're just going to get current points. All right. That's that one. Another one is we need to create the add points. If you guys remember, we created that as well, the contract that it needs to fulfill. So we're just going to have to include it in here as well. So public function add points. Amount message. Step 2, amount of message, I think. Yes, amount of message. We don't need to add actually anything else. Then we're just going to return new point. Add rewards. Okay, and then we pass in this and amount in the message. Okay, like that. So now we set up our trade right here. Next thing is what we want to do is let's open our user model and we actually bring it in here as well. So we can say use as points like this, and we're going to implement pointable like that. Right, so now the HasPoints are included right there, and we're almost ready to test it. All right, to make sure that the user can actually assign points right there. Right, so what we're going to do, so we already now, let me just show you what I've done, otherwise I went a little bit too fast. Right, so I created the HasPoints, all right, so hopefully just pause the video so that you guys can make sure that you get all of this. Right, then the next thing that I did is I just bring in our user model. I just bring in the trade, HasPoints, and I implement the pointable right there. Okay, so and next thing that we want to do is I want to actually create in our config file in here, right here, a place where we can actually set up the points. All right, so in this case, as you can see, most of the things, like as you can see with Laravel, you have your default things that you can set up right here. And I want to set up a point system. I want to allocate the points from here. All right, so I want to say the amount of points. So if I want to change the amounts, I change them in here. So we're just going to create a new file, and we're going to call this points.php. All right, right here. You know what? Let me leave it there for now. So I might still decide how I want to do the points actually. So let me do that in the next one, where we're going to set it up a little bit more thoroughly. All right, thank you guys for watching, and if you like the video, please give it a like. If you don't, please give it a dislike, and please consider subscribing to the channel. It will help us out a lot. And yes, all right, thank you, and any positive, negative, constructive feedback, I always appreciate it. Thank you guys, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.